In the tumultuous 18th century, along China's ancient trade routes where poverty often dictated destiny, one woman began her life as an outcast, a poor prostitute. Yet, against all odds, she would rise. She would forge an empire of the seas, commanding a staggering force of over 70,000 pirates. She would stare down empires, defy every expectation, and unlike almost all who sailed under the black flag, retire peacefully, her fortune intact, her legend eternal. This is the extraordinary story of Ching Shih, the pirate queen who didn't just sail the seas, she ruled them. The dawn of the 19th century was an age of turmoil for China. Far from the imperial palaces, the South China Sea had become a lawless frontier, teeming with smugglers, rebels, and vast pirate fleets. The once mighty Qing Dynasty struggled to maintain control. Trade routes, the lifeblood of the empire, were under siege. And the balance of power itself began to slip away, carried off by the tides of chaos. And in this volatile, patriarchal world, where men ruled both land and sea, a figure unlike any other would emerge. A woman with no noble birth, no army, no inheritance. Only ruthless intelligence and unshakable will. From the depths of poverty, she would rise to become the most feared pirate in all of recorded history. The early life of Ching Shih is veiled in mystery. Even her birth name has been lost to history. Born into poverty in Guangdong, a coastal province shaped by the sea, she grew up amid hardship. For women like her, survival itself was a battle. With no real choices, she was forced into prostitution. A world defined by danger, exploitation, and the constant fight to simply stay alive. It was a brutal existence that demanded sharp instincts and a will of iron. Then fate intervened. Her path crossed that of Zheng Yi, a pirate captain whose name already struck fear across the South China Sea. He was not merely a marauder, but a rising warlord of the waves. Their meeting, and the alliance that followed, would ignite one of the most powerful maritime empires the world had ever seen. Zheng Yi was a force of nature, ruthless, ambitious, and magnetic. Yet his fleet was just one among many. When Ching Shih married him, everything changed. She didn't merely become his wife, she became his strategist, the brain behind the fleet. Together they began uniting the scattered pirate factions of the South China Sea. Through cunning diplomacy and calculated violence, they forged the Red Flag Fleet, a coalition so vast it dwarfed entire navies. To hold it together, they imposed a strict code: no theft from the poor, no assault against women. Betrayal was punished with merciless severity. Loot was shared fairly, fostering loyalty and discipline. This was no ordinary pirate band. It was an empire built on fear, order, and loyalty. And at its heart was Ching Shih, calculating, commanding, unbreakable. Then fate struck. In 1807, Zheng Yi was swept overboard during a typhoon. Chaos loomed, rivals waited for her downfall. But Ching Shih didn't flinch. She stepped onto the captain's deck, not as a widow, but as a leader. From that moment on, the entire South China Sea would tremble at her name. Are you fascinated by hidden stories that shaped our world? Then subscribe to the Time Navigator and join our voyage through history. Every week we uncover incredible figures and forgotten events time tried to bury. Hit that bell and become part of our crew of explorers today. Under Ching Shih's command, the Red Flag Fleet became unstoppable. Over 300 major junks, tens of thousands of pirates. At its height, her naval force was larger than the combined European fleets operating in Asia. But what made her truly formidable was strategy. She mastered naval tactics, divide and conquer, sudden ambushes, and psychological warfare. Merchants, warships, even empires, all bowed before her cunning. Her dominion wasn't chaos, it was order. She established taxes on coastal towns, enforced maritime laws, and ensured trade flowed under her protection. In some regions, her rule was so complete she even minted her own currency. Ching Shih was no longer a pirate. She had become a ruler. sovereign of the South China Sea. The empires struck back. The British Royal Navy, Portuguese warships, and the Qing Imperial fleet all united against her, a coalition of the world's most powerful forces. Yet time and again, Ching Shih outsmarted them. She wielded intelligence, diplomacy, and audacity like weapons. When fleets came to destroy her, she bribed their commanders, ambushed their escorts, or turned their own men to her cause. In an astonishing reversal, she didn't beg for peace. The empires did, and she dictated the terms. Full amnesty for her fleet, freedom for her officers, and the right to keep their immense fortune. She didn't surrender in defeat. She negotiated victory. A woman who began as a prostitute had outwitted empires and rewritten the rules of power itself. In 1810, Ching Shih accepted the Qing government's offer of amnesty. But this was no ordinary surrender. Unlike nearly every pirate before or after her, she walked away, free, wealthy, and unpunished. She settled in Guangdong, opened a prosperous gambling house, invested wisely, and lived out her days in peace. She died in 1844 at the age of 69, a quiet end to a life of thunder. Her legacy endures as a symbol of defiance and mastery, the only pirate in history to command such power and retire victorious. She proved that strength is not born of title or privilege, but of will. From poverty to power, from obscurity to legend, Ching Shih's story is proof that courage and cunning can bend history itself. Her rise defied every rule of her time, her will unbroken, her legend immortal. Because legends like hers remind us, the tide of history can rise for anyone brave enough to command it. If you were inspired by Ching Shih's journey, please like this video, share it with fellow history lovers, and tell us in the comments which forgotten hero you'd like to see next. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the Time Navigator. Together, we'll keep uncovering the world's hidden past.